Very well. Today we want to review the massive wave of layoffs shaking the United States, making this October the worst in decades. The figures show a labor adjustment of enormous scale, and while causes vary, big tech and artificial intelligence appear at the center of it all. During October, companies announced over 150,000 job cuts, the highest figure for this month in over 20 years, nearly triple what was recorded last year during this period. Looking from January through October, the total exceeds 1 million job losses, a nearly 65% increase compared to 2024, and the highest level since the pandemic. Most of these cuts come from the tech sector, followed by retail and services. The main reason in October was cost reduction, along with AI pressure, as we've been covering here on the channel. Overall, it's clear that major companies have been adjusting their workforce for months to reorganize and direct resources toward areas they consider strategic. Amazon's case perfectly illustrates this trend, with the company confirming 14,000 global layoffs to streamline its corporate structure, using AI as justification, as we've seen. UPS has also eliminated nearly 48,000 positions this year, while Target cut 1,800 jobs in October. Microsoft, Meta, and other highly profitable companies have also reduced staff by thousands. Even outside the tech sector, we're seeing similar moves, with Paramount Skydance announcing 2,000 cuts, about 10% of its workforce, to restructure operations. To understand this scenario, it's worth recalling what has happened in recent years. Before and during the early pandemic month, when interest rates fell to near zero, many tech companies hired rapidly, setting the stage for later adjustment. Beyond the recent AI boom, interest rates then rose, coinciding with the market launch of tools like ChatGPT. This led many companies to shift their hiring toward profiles linked to these new technologies, while other departments faced cuts. Some voices emphasize that expectations around AI may exceed what it can actually deliver right now. They warn that too much is expected from these tools and not all predictions will come true. Because of this, companies like Amazon would be preemptively reducing staff, anticipating future productivity gains that haven't yet materialized. Some interpret this as austerity following years of high investment in AI adoption. Decreased consumer and business spending, plus rising costs, are forcing many companies to freeze hiring and cut expenses. According to the President's economic report, at least 10% of jobs could be affected by technological disruption, especially among those who don't acquire skills related to these new tools. However, some experts point out that not everything happening is due to artificial intelligence. Some studies find that the most visible changes after these technologies arrived are concentrated in administrative and office tasks, while areas like computer science or mathematics show no notable shift. From this perspective, questions arise whether companies are overreacting or making decisions based on a scenario that hasn't yet fully materialized. In Amazon's specific case, management acknowledges that the expansion of generative AI will transform how they work. The problem is this wave of layoffs isn't matched by equivalent job creation, with October hiring at its lowest since 2012 and September showing minimums similar to 2019. So far this year, employers have announced just over 200,000 new positions, less than half compared to this point last year. All this is causing concern among banks and analysts, and a recent Goldman Sachs survey showed that while few companies have cut staff directly due to AI, they expect greater impact in coming years. Bank of America also detected a clear increase in unemployment payments among its clients, reinforcing the sense of labor market deterioration. In summary, we're facing a deep adjustment marked by austerity, technological changes, and a weakened labor market. And while many companies believe reorganization will be key to competing in the AI era, for millions of workers the outlook remains uncertain, and recovery depends on how hiring and the economy evolve in the months ahead. Well then, today we want to talk about the growing conflict between several of Japan's most influential creative studios and OpenAI. It centers on the use of protected content to train SORA 2, the company's video generation model. In recent months, Japan has seen mounting frustration over AI-generated images and videos that precisely mimic the country's distinctive visual styles, especially those related to anime. The anti-piracy organization, CODA, which includes Studio Ghibli, Toei Animation, Bandai, Toho, Square Enix, and other culturally and economically significant companies, has formally demanded that OpenAI stop using their members' works to train SORA 2. According to this organization, they've verified that much of what the model generates looks too similar to Japanese material, which they interpret as a direct result of using protected content during training. This concern isn't new. Since mid-October, the Japanese government has warned OpenAI about using copyrighted material without without permission, and Minister Minoru Kiuchi emphasized that cultural products like manga and anime are considered Japan's irreplaceable contributions to the world, and using them without authorization violates fundamental principles of Japanese law. This pushback has intensified since the launch of GPT-4o generated images, and later with SORA 2, when social media saw a surge of representations with styles very similar to those of well-known Japanese studios and series from companies like Bandai Namco, NHK, Aniplex, or Wow Wow Wow. These results directly violate their rights by reproducing visual elements they consider proprietary and protected. The reaction in Japan isn't coming from the private sector alone. CODA, which also acts as an anti-piracy agency, argues that Japanese law doesn't allow for opt-out systems after the fact, unlike the common practice in the United States. They stress that regulations require prior authorization before making any copies, even intermediate ones created during AI training processes. The legal differences between both countries largely explain this clash. While in the US, training with publicly available material may qualify as fair use if it doesn't directly reproduce the work, Japanese regulations consider any copying during learning as unauthorized reproduction without explicit permission. In their statements, the organization claims that SORA 2's generated results reveal knowledge of Japanese anime techniques and styles too detailed to attribute to general learning. They highlight precision in color palette, animation rhythm, character design, and cultural coherence, as well as the system's ability to respond to very specific references. For CODA and the studios involved, this demonstrates that the model was trained on specific works without permission. Meanwhile, various Japanese government officials have restated their position. The Ministry of Intellectual Property Strategy and political figures, like the Deputy Secretary of the Liberal Democratic Party, have publicly opposed using works considered essential Japanese cultural heritage without permission or compensation. Facing this pressure, OpenAI has indicated it might change its data policy, possibly switching from an opt-out to an explicit opt-in system, and in some cases exploring compensation for rights holders whose content is used for training. However, CODA believes these proposals don't address the core issue, the previous unauthorized use of protected material. Therefore, the organization is demanding several specific actions. They're demanding a halt to using their works in SORA 2 training, asking OpenAI to formally respond to member companies' complaints and clarify if they used Japanese material without permission. Additionally, they request that any future use be conditional on obtaining explicit authorization before including content in the model's datasets. To date, OpenAI hasn't provided a definitive response to CODA's request or the formal petitions from the Japanese government. Meanwhile, the debate continues growing both within Japan and internationally, becoming a landmark case about how generative AI technologies should relate to the cultural industries that fuel their training. Well, today we want to talk about how image generation tools have completely changed visual creation and how SEEDREAM AI 4.0 has become one of the most advanced references in the field. For years, artificial intelligence evolved from a curiosity to a common resource for artists, designers, educators, businesses, and users simply seeking high-quality results. Within this landscape, SEEDREAM 4.0 marks a significant leap forward thanks to its combination of speed, sharpness, and flexibility, backed by ByteDance's technological infrastructure. SEEDREAM isn't just a simple upgrade, but a model focused on producing professional-level images. Unlike previous generations, it offers much more realistic renderings, varied styles, and processing capabilities designed for demanding workflows. Digital artists, concept creators, designers, and marketers can generate polished content in very little time, while casual users can experiment without difficulty. It works on a simple premise: enter a clear description of what you want. From a futuristic person to a specific artistic style, the more precise your request, the more accurate the generated image. It also lets you adjust styles, include reference images, and define format, aspect ratios, and resolutions for different needs. With 4K mode, each creation maintains detail quality useful, even for professional campaigns, catalogs, or print projects. This version's advancement is reflected in its rise to first place in LM Arena, a platform comparing text-to-image model. After improvements in resolution, speed, and accuracy, it outperformed competitors like Nano Banana, which still excels in certain areas but doesn't always match the same texture, fidelity, or stability at high resolution. SEEDREAM, however, delivers sharper, more realistic results with more convincing element integration. Its unified architecture lets you generate images from scratch, create modified versions, merge multiple photos, or edit objects using simple instructions. This makes it valuable for e-commerce, where quick visual prototypes are needed, or for creators requiring consistent images for branding, educational content, or illustrations. In fashion, SEEDREAM 4.0 offers additional possibilities through its virtual clothing try-on capability. The process involves selecting the latest model, entering a description of the desired style, uploading photos, and choosing the aspect ratio and resolution. With this, the AI realistically places garments on the person, allowing textures and patterns to be appreciated with great clarity. For online shoppers, designers, or influencers, this feature reduces uncertainty and streamlines decision-making. 4K resolution is essential in these cases, as it allows you to distinguish materials, delicate details, and patterns without losing quality. This makes it a valuable resource for catalogs, promotional content, and collection presentations. Similarly, it includes areas like marketing, digital design, visual world creation, and conceptual development for video games. SEEDREAM also offers advantages over other market options. Stable performance powered by ByteDance infrastructure, an easy-to-use interface, scalability for projects of all sizes, and a community sharing experiences and examples to improve results. Its pay-per-image model provides flexibility for those working on specific campaigns or one-off projects. Overall, SEEDREAM AI 4.0 isn't just a visual generation tool, but it bridges ideas and immediate results with 4K resolution and compatibility across various styles, expanding creative possibilities for professionals and hobbyists in imaging, design, marketing, and fashion. It offers a chance to experiment with new visual production methods, allowing curious users to explore concepts and styles easily with a level of realism unimaginable just a few years ago.